We definitely have people with good attitudes. For whatever reason, we've been very blessed in the fact that the people that are hired at this bank are kind of expected to be nice to each other. And we have a lot of customers that walk in and just say that they came in and they loved the fact that they could tell that we truly were happy.
City Hall each Tuesday at 3 p.m. The first item of business in today's agenda is the minutes. Attached is a copy of the minutes. Those minutes are for approval of the regularly scheduled meeting held on November 22nd, 2011.
Mayor, I would move for approval of the minutes as presented.
I second the motion.
Any discussion, changes needed for the minutes? If not, all those in favor of passing the minutes as presented?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Ordinance number 7306. This is the second final reading of an ordinance vacating a 20-foot drainage easement in Section 39, Block 9, BS&F Survey, Randolph County, in the vicinity of Culver Street and Arden Road. Is there any discussion about this ordinance? Second reading. Any questions? Not, I entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve ordinance number 7306 as presented.
Second. Actually, I did not ask for comment from the audience. I did from the commission. Is there any comment from the audience on that ordinance? Okay, if not, all those in favor of ordinance number 7306?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes with a 5-0 vote. Number 3, discussion and consideration of award hospital service contract. This item is in consideration of the contract to provide hospital services to the City of Amarillo Health Plan. The city has both an open request for proposal, RFP, and an existing year-to-year contract available for the provisions of 3 services. The City Commission will consider and act on this item by either awarding an RFP to the highest evaluated proposal or by exercising its option to renew the existing year-to-year contract for 1 additional year. The current contract for hospital services expires on December 31st, 2011. Are there any comments on this item from the Commission?
Mayor, I will be recusing myself from the conversation on this.
I forgot to mention that. Lily, Commissioner Escajeda will not comment or vote on this item. And that's very unusual. She's not usually the wallflower, as you all know. So when you see her quiet on this, she's asked to recuse herself. Any other comments from the Commission?
Will we have another opportunity once a motion is made to come in?
Certainly we could. Yes. And we'll see if there's any comment from the floor at this point, and we'll look for a motion and we'll comment on that. Any comment from the floor, from the audience on this item number 3? Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I would move that regarding the hospital services contract, we award the RFP to the highest evaluated proposal.
I second.
Okay, discussion on that item. Yes,
Now,
sir.
this has been another in a long line of tough decisions that this commission has considered. And I wrestled on this issue back and forth. I was on the commission 2 years ago when we awarded the exclusive contract to BSA and had a huge problem because I have a problem with an exclusive hospitalization contract. And 2 years ago we asked the staff to be prepared when this came up for renewal to broaden our horizon, to broaden our options, to possibly have both hospitals in consideration. And when I say it's consideration, where our employees have a choice, because I think that it makes better hospitals out of both of them, and they're both very good hospitals, that it makes better hospitals out of both of them if they're competing. And it's my understanding that both hospitals were involved in the preparation of this RFP and had input.
That is correct. You shared with both hospitals in the process of putting it together until our comment prior to it being released.
And even to the point that they knew what areas were going to be weighted and how.
Correct.
And I'm still opposed to exclusive contracts. And for those of you in the audience that are not familiar with this request for proposal now, we asked them, part of the consideration was for a non-exclusive contract. And or to come back with both. Here's our price with an exclusive contract, here's our price without an exclusive contract. And the price was the same with Northwest Texas Hospital. But with BSA, their exclusive contract was here, and their non-exclusive contract, was totally outside. We were foolish to even bring it into consideration. So the problem that I'm wrestling and coming back and forth on this is the fact that we put together an RFP, be it good, bad, not broad enough, too narrow, or whatever the problems with it. We put together an RFP, and both hospitals had input in it. And it comes back, and Northwest Texas is the winner. That's who it directs it to. And I've gone back and forth. I'm told that today, within the last couple of hours. So anyway, I'm simply speaking in favor of the motion.
Let me clarify some things that are important to me as I try to evaluate these two. We obviously had a lengthy discussion last week in work session and a very lengthy discussion just now. I see it a little differently. From a business standpoint, as a businessman, I've never been able to offer our employees the ability to walk into either hospital of their choice. Now, there are times where we've chosen a hospital based on cost, certainly, or we did it because we picked a provider that worked with one hospital versus the other, and so I've never seen the need to offer employees the ability to walk to either hospital. Certainly, if there was a difference in the two hospitals, my personal judgment of that is these both hospitals are excellent. They both have reams of data that show that they're excellent hospitals. There's no question about that. I don't agree that it was one, if you look at the RFP and the answer, I think it was one based on some items other than cost, because when you purely take cost, we would spend possibly, and certainly we've heard counters to that. It's very hard to figure out health care for any of us today. But we would spend roughly, I think it was, because it's so nebulous, I've tried to look at different areas that it could be, but we could spend quite a bit more if we awarded as the RFP came out. And it looks to me like it would be at a minimum over a 2-year period of $300,000. It could be as high as $700,000 over a 2-year period if we awarded based purely on what the RFP was. Leaves me back with a quandary, fiduciary, dollars and cents. We have put together an RFP that, with the idea that we could create exclusivity. Absolutely positively, whatever our decision is today, we will not have the ability for employees to walk into either hospital. It will go to one or the other. So we didn't accomplish what the prior commission set out as one of their goals, was to have the ability for employees to walk into either. That's absolutely not going to happen. And we really have sort of two options, as was stated in the discussion. We can either award this RFP or we can revert to the 1-year additional contract on the current deal. It appears to me, from my reading of this, and certainly as part of the debate, is that we would save money by extending the contract and then try and deal with this. But it isn't my objective. It is not my objective to try and offer to all the employees of the city of Amarillo the ability to walk into either hospital at their discretion. I want to offer them good services. It is our job to say we are providing this service to employees. The hospital business is a competitive business. I think that I'd like to have possibly Mr. Atkinson comment on how another large employer entity in the city has sort of resolved this. Could you comment on that?
Certainly, Mayor. It's something we're still researching as well. But there is a large employer in the city that, in effect, they're similar to us in that it's a plan that they own and manage, just like the city does. But within that, there are two subsets, for lack of a better term. The way the plan works, to our understanding, is the employees during their annual open enrollment period select Plan A, Plan B. Plan A takes you into the network and ultimately to the hospital of one of the two hospitals, and Plan B does it going the other direction. The decision or election is made once a year for each of the covered lives.
And that, in a sense, is the way that those employees have a choice.
Correct.
Once a year.
Correct.
And then they live with it.
Yes.
But we, as an employer in a private business, have to look at the cost passed along to the employees' families too.
Yes.
And certainly, if we pick the higher one, a lot of our employees said, we won't participate if you pick the higher one, so pick the lower one. And it could be a $50 a month difference. Well, thereby, what happens is they fall off the plan and we've got adverse selection because we don't have all the bodies that we need to make that plan feasible. And just in business, you know, I never really had the ability to offer them two hospitals. I had the ability to offer good services at the lowest cost that we thought. And we felt it was a moral responsibility as a business to offer. I did it when we had 120 employees. I do it now with 5 employees. And I take it very seriously. That's a responsibility. But, you know, the other thing that concerns me is healthcare is going to change dramatically over the next few years. I don't know if it's going to be 12 months, 36 months, or what's going to happen with the government. It concerns me. If we look at the last page, the evaluation staff gave these 2 proposals. The concern I have is, and I know this is debatable, but their estimated cost savings, if we go to a 1-year extension of the VSA plan, is $450,442. If we go to a 1-year extension, we could save that much. There are countering arguments that we will not save that much. And to be fair to everybody, part of that is because of trauma. One hospital offers trauma, the other does not. I think this is why Jim has debated this in his mind. I've debated it in mine. I think still, though, that...
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I, too, am not convinced that we're actually going to save money if we extend the DSA contract because Northwest is the sole provider of not only trauma care but also psych care, and that's become extremely important for both of them. And if you look at we looked at numbers during work session today provided by city staff, and I'm just not convinced at all that we would save anybody by extending that DSA contract.
Well, then I would ask if Mr. City Manager, we might have Mr. Frigo take us through that because his input back to us is that we would save money if we continue on the 1-year plan. And I'd like clarification on that if I can get it.
Mr. Frigo, if you would kind of explain how the pieces are plugged into the model that drove that.
We developed a pricing model based on historic utilization. The wild card in that model is the trauma that is taken by ambulance to Northwest Texas Hospital. Currently, once the patient is stabilized, we move them to the network hospital, but we really don't have any contract or any control of the pricing while they're in the non-network hospital, whether that's Northwest Texas Hospital or Parkland, which we had a pretty good-sized trauma at Parkland in Dallas. But the model we use for pricing, again, it could be dead wrong. Psych utilization is coming up. You're correct, Commissioner. And the trauma, in the savings, we estimate based on the model is about $400,000. A couple of traumas could wipe that out real easily. One good trauma could wipe that out.
So we're acting somewhat like our agent or our insurance company used to in my private business. You're left with trying to predict the future, which is uncertain.
Yeah.
And it could go either way. We could have a tremendous savings this year, or we could be that we're slightly higher.
We could, if we're lucky on trauma, we could save money. If we're unlucky, it could really zing us.
Thanks a lot. You made this clear.
Okay, thanks.
It tells the truth.
You know, the difficulty is that we're trying to do the fiduciary correct thing, and yet we have sort of, by putting out this RFP, in my mind, created something that we didn't set out to. we set out to offer choice. We are not able to offer choice in hospitals no matter what happens today. And that, for me, is a big part of my decision. And I frankly am not fully decided. I feel like the cost thing is an important thing. And I have to look at this number, 450. So if I say 450, if we award the contract, it's for 2 years. So that makes that number, doubles that number, correct?
If the model holds, yes.
If the model holds. So that's close to $1 million. And the question is, would there be enough trauma to offset that? And I don't have a Ouija board or a crystal ball enough to predict that.
It's interesting you say that, Mayor, because I actually do believe you have enough crystal ball to know what this means. And so my philosophy in life has always been, I worry about the things I do something about. And something that I do know is that Northwest Texas Hospital has been a wonderful community partner for us for years and years and years. When folks are in trouble and they need acute psychiatric services, they're there and they do the evaluations and they take care of folks. They take care of the trauma that has been well described. But additionally, they, as a community partner, have risen and taking care of the less fortunate in this city at a level dramatically, 3 times over their competitors.
They're contracted to do that, correct? It's part of their contract.
No, that's just traditional in terms of if you look at the percentage of Medicaid that they do in this community. They're not contracted. You're talking about district clinic monies and things like that. They are contracted to do that. But just where folks, when they have a problem and they're underprivileged and they don't have a medical home, like you and I might have a doctor we go to, and they have to go to the hospital, the vast majority of less fortunate patients and those who need additional help go to Northwest. And so they are meeting the needs of the less fortunate and the marginally medically affected patients in the city. And that's been the way it's been for a long time, even when the city owns the hospital. And they went an extra mile when it came to deciding that the ambulance service was no longer reasonably part of their business plan. They helped us recruit and orient AMR, and I'll tell you, we've got the best pre-hospital system that we've ever had, and not in any small measure due to the cooperation of Northwest Texas Hospital. So that's where I've come down on this. I don't know what it's going to cost. I wish I knew one way or the other, but I think they've been a good community partner, and I think that they're a taxpayer. They're the only full-service hospital in the city that is a taxpayer, and I know that you don't feel like that's appropriate to discuss, but I think it's important.
Well, it isn't appropriate to discuss. It is not part of the RFP. It is not in our purview to change their ability or choice on filing for nonprofit status or the other hospital not to. If it had been in the RFP, it would be up for discussion, but I believe it's not part of this decision. It is, and I would ask Mr. City Attorney, is that part of this decision?
No, Mayor, I believe that actually part of your decision would have been specified in the RFP. The Commissioner is correct. The statute does allow broad flexibility in the factors to be considered on any RFP, but that statute goes on to make it clear that those parameters are to be set forth in the RFP and the weighting that will be given to those various considerations.
To me, then, the philosophical choices that we'd like to make are not always possible when we consider that it's basically, to a degree, it's objective, but I also read this RFP, I believe that it is a quandary. I don't think it's able to do what the City Commission initially set out to do. I believe it actually shows the difference in costs, and if we take the 4-year history, it will be more expensive to award the RFP, in my mind, than it would be to go with a 1-year extension and try and resolve this with the help of the entities and our knowledge today, based on what we tried to do. But I also don't think it's our responsibility to be able to say to employees, you get the choice to go to 2 hospitals. We don't have that luxury in business with costs today. Our cost for health care with 5 lives went up 27% the first year we had our little policy, and went up 17% this year, and I'll bet you it goes up next year. And I don't know what the solution to any of that is, but holding the cost of health care down is a primary objective of mine. And I think the thought that one could pay out $400,000 a year for 2 years when we may not have to is very important to me. And if we're looking for money into the budget and we took the best information we had from history, nothing more than an actuarial or an insurance company would do, I think we got a tough choice, but I don't when I come back to the fiduciary for me. I don't know.
Just one more, and this is a question, but I don't expect to get an answer. If you're going to go out with an RFP, and all the parties involved participate in the RFP, and then it comes back and say, never mind, we're going to go this other direction. I think you'd have lessened the impact and the importance of the RFP.
But I heard something different last week. Mr. Frigo, may I ask Mr. Frigo back up? Mr. Frigo, I heard something different than that last week. I heard as part of this discussion, and I certainly would have that concern a lot more than I do right now in my mind, because I think you don't want to discount the process of an RFP. But we're not, both entities very much included in the idea that if this didn't work, we're back to a 1-year extension.
Well, you did explain to both hospitals that the commission's choice would be to accept the RFP, or they still had a current contract with BSA that they could extend.
Although, Mr. Mayor, I think that we say in the RFP that certain things are important to us. The quality of the hospital, the price, the non-exclusive or exclusiveness of the contract. And so if we then go back and just say, well, never mind, really it was about price. It wasn't about all those other things, and then we're not honoring the RFP that we put forward.
But the thrust of the RFP I still hold was to offer the ability for our employees to walk into the front door of either hospital of their choice and get whatever service those offices are able to give, those hospitals are able to give. And we will not accomplish that, which is a critical part of the RFP. We will not accomplish that, whichever way we choose to. It will not happen.
Northwest said that they would charge the same thing. It was BSA who raised the price 3 times.
Our ability to award the RFP or extend it, the only 2 choices that I see today, will not accomplish what we first set out with this RFP, that let people walk into either hospital. So I believe that we are exposing ourselves, or we're actually agreeing to pay much more to go with the RFP than we would with the 1-year extension. There is a chance that won't prove out if there's some trauma cases. But if we don't do an exclusive, then we get charged double the amount for trauma that we would if we were doing an exclusive. Is that correct, Dr. Eads? If we had an exclusive contract with Northwest Texas, our trauma costs would go down tremendously, about in half. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what they negotiate as a reduction in price if we do a contract.
I think that also is that it makes it difficult. I mean, are we paying a higher rate than some of the insurance companies are getting on trauma?
Well, yeah, some insurance companies have negotiated lower rates, just like they do even with your. That's the way the business is done.
Sure.
So, we're going to stick with the RFP, or are we not? Are we going to consider outside issues, or are we not? I mean,
well, the RFP, part of the RFP process was that we could be back to a 1-year extension. And I think that's where we are. What do you have, Commissioner? You said
I call the question.
Okay.
And I call for a point of information.
Sure. That's the next step.
Okay. I may approach. I get Alan Abraham, 7205 Southwest 30th. I don't understand the action. I can't tell from this whole discussion, are we approving an RFP process, or have we accepted an RFP? I mean, I just don't understand what the action is.
We have an RFP answer back.
Yes.
And we either can accept that RFP or we can reject it and go with a 1-year extension. You can actually go with a 1-year extension of our current plan at a lower rate than what is proposed in their new plan with TSA. It's a lower rate for a period of 1 year and then go again for another year.
So we're ignoring the RFP if we take the action.
We're saying that the RFP is rejected.
One answer. You go ahead.
We are saying that the RFP has been rejected and that we choose to take the other option, which is to extend the current contract for 1 year. The current contract at current cost for 1 year.
Okay, but that vote hasn't been taken yet. And
No.
That's not the motion on the table.
I didn't think so.
No, we chose those were the two options for motions. One motion's on the floor to accept the RFP.
I don't hear that. Okay, we'll get back to comment. I'll have a comment. Right. You answered my question.
Okay, we're back to comment.
And I have a comment.
Sure you do, sir. Just a second.
Kathy Altman, 2105 South Lipscomb. To your point, Dr. Eve, it looks to me like when you prescribe that they could either be a tax-paying or a non-tax-paying entity wouldn't make any difference on their bidding. But still, it looks to me like you could take that into consideration when you make a choice. It doesn't look like that would exclude you from considering that as a factor. I mean, although it wouldn't exclude them from bidding or the other one not being able to, but still looks like a factor you.
Ms. Holcomb, may I ask a point of information from the city attorney? Mr. Norris, in terms of the law for purchasing in the state of Texas, is it legal for me to bring up that point?
I think it's not a proper basis for this body to make a decision on.
Is it legal?
Yes, that's the point. The statute for request for proposal says that a city may consider a variety of factors, I'm paraphrasing, but those must be set out in the RFP. If you're going to rate the proposers on these particular factors, you will award so many points for each of these factors. Those points will be available for these factors, and that is the basis for your proposal. Staff did not place, and there was no direction from City Commission to advise the public that this proposal would include such issues as taxation, charity care, indigent care, other contractual obligations, government obligations. There was no direction or no inclusion of that in this RFP. I'm not in any way saying those are good, bad, or should or shouldn't be in the RFP. They simply were not in this RFP.
So it's off the table for discussion.
Give the Commissioner the name to make a statement.
Sir?
Mayor, on that, just to try to keep this where it is, I think it's been fairly stated the Commission has two options the way the item is filed. One is to award the RFP. The RFP, per the criteria that we contain in and the scoring thereof, puts Northwest Texas Hospital as the highest ranked proposal of the RFP. The second option is the 1 year extension that's been discussed. The motion and the second that are before you now would be to award the RFP per those results, which would be to Northwest Texas Hospital. Is that fairly stated, Commissioner Reeves?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And the other option is
At this point,
I would like to know about, if you look at the subtotal, the 45 points that was awarded. Could somebody explain that a little bit more?
I think we're the one.
Certainly.
Kyle Sanders, CEO of Northwest Texas Healthcare System. I do appreciate and understand the gravity of this, and I appreciate your comments, Mr. Norris. I guess one of the things that I would add is we had asked, and I know that's been taken off the table through the RFP process when we did have the pre-bids for the issue of taxpaying entity to be considered, and I agree with Mr. Norris that it was not. But I guess one of the comments that I would make is if that item is taken off because it was not included in the RFP, then at this point to split out costs or any component by itself is also improper. The only thing to consider is the entirety of the RFP and the award. If we can't consider items even if I do personally feel like that they have value, then I do not believe that it would be proper to consider any individual component and to consider the RFP as a total.
So in that regard, then, the staff summation is that if we accept the RFP, we will spend $450,000 more per year than we would if we go with the other option, which is not on the table for vote, but would be a secondary. And so we're back to just considering what has been presented, and that's $450,000 more a year for 2 years. Okay. Could be. All insurances could be. And we are the insurance provider in this case. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
John Anderson, 4706 West 36. I'd love for you guys to take into consideration. We're talking about people's lives that are currently in medical care. We'll be moving some people from one cancer center to another. I mean, there's a lot of other things. I mean, I hate for us to do one thing this year and then do another thing next year. So I want to encourage you guys to maybe think about, long term, what this might do to, our employees, our city employees. I know that that's difficult to do, but there are people that are currently in this process that are going to be very affected by this decision. And I think we should definitely keep those in mind. The other thing, as I sit here, and obviously, you guys have done a lot of work on this, but it sounds like to me, tell me if I'm wrong, it sounds like where the problem is the RFP maybe wasn't written like it should, or wasn't. I don't know, is that something that can be changed? Or is it too late?
Not at this point, it would have to. The only way it could be is 2 years from now or a year from now, depending on the two choices that we have. The one choice in front of us now, it can only be fixed in 2 years. The one we will vote on in a minute.
Because
can only be fixed in 2 years.
It seems to me like the stakes are pretty high. And if we've got to...
All of us agree.
Okay, so if we've got to... I hate to just... I'm just a little more cautious in my dealings. And I just want to encourage you guys to think about, not just what happens in a month from now, but there are people that are currently in treatment that it's going to affect if they're told they're going to have to do something in another place. So, okay?
I'm sure we all appreciate your comment, Mr. Anderson. Thank you. Any other comments?
Alan Abraham, 7205 Southwest 35th. This is going to sound a little crass. And I think another consideration between the objective of giving patients a choice is that city money is an economic engine to the welfare of this community. And when I consider what you will spend on our behalf, I think it's only fair to consider that we need to sometimes shift that engine from one institution to another, give them a fair footing in the community. And I think, from what I'm understanding finally from Jared, that your decision is to go with an RFP, which would award the contract to Northwest, or continue to extend the contract with PSA. I would just throw in there that there's more than just patient choice. There's also an economic engine here. And we need to spread our city funds throughout the community.
Mr. Abraham, to that point, Mr. Abraham, may I ask for clarification from the city manager? What period of time over the last 20 years has this been provided to either hospital?
As far as which hospital has been the provider?
Right. For the last 20 years.
Might have to have Dean correct me, but I believe 18 of the last 20 were consecutive at Northwest. Actually, I'm sorry, 17. The last 3 have been at BSA.
Yeah, you're right the first time.
I was right the first time, 18 and 2.
18 and 2. So that may address some of that concern. Any other comments? Schnapp has got the question. Yes.
Simply because there was some misunderstandings last week. This, if we go through with this and this contract is awarded to Northwest, it is a 2-year contract.
Correct.
With 3 one-year extensions possible.
Correct. Okay. We have a motion. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
And I abstain.
That's a 3-1-1 vote. Okay. Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. It's recommended that the following items be approved and that the city manager be authorized to execute all documents necessary for this transaction. This week, there's only one. A, approval of environmental laboratory equipment maintenance agreement. Are there any, is there any reason to remove for separate consideration? Well, we don't have any separate consideration. We got one item. Are there any comments about that consent agenda? We have one consent agenda. Okay, are there any comments from the commission, from the audience? Now I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented. Second.
All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes with a 5-0 vote. This concludes today's regularly scheduled meeting of the City Commission. The agenda of the City Commission, we will, after this, go back into executive session. It's, however, at this time customary to allow the citizens of our community on matters pertaining to city policy, programs, and services to speak to the Commission, and the floor is now open for that comment. Is there anyone who would like to make a comment to the Commission today? If not, we'll move back into executive session. Thank you very much for your attendance.